This is Joe from Daily Arena. I'm just going over a quick deck tech for an Esper Control deck that I'm playing a bunch, and uh, I'm gonna just go over the cards here, and I will link in the video notes the deck list, the one that I've been playing, and link to an article that has a couple other versions of the deck list. Let's see here. Let me bring up the one that I've actually been playing. I'm going to talk about some cards that also aren't in this list. There it is, Esper Control. Alright, so I'm going to start with the Planeswalkers, Teferi. Teferi is central to this deck strategy. It represents the main win condition of most versions of this deck. He's pretty good because he protects himself by untapping lands for a counterspell or, bouncing a target that might otherwise kill him. And he draws cards efficiently. Untapping the two lands is really powerful. If he goes unchecked, he eventually crushes the opponent's hopes and dreams. And, he can really, really decimate their side of the battlefield while keeping you from accidentally milling out, since he can tuck himself back into your library. This is probably one of the best cards in the Dominaria set, and probably one of the best cards in Standard altogether right now. It really, Teferi really slots perfectly into control decks like this one. The other Planeswalker I'm running in this deck is Kaya, Orzhov Usurper. In current Standard, Kaya is decent against red deck wins, and also against Mono White, or Boros, or Azorius Weenie, or Aggro. It can eat a lot of your opponent's permanents that are that have a 1 cost, in those aggro decks, and it can gain you much needed life by exiling dead creatures from graveyards. It also does a lot of work against Golgari or Sultai mid-range. It exiles problem creatures from the graveyard before they can get them back with fine finality. It's not great against other decks, so it should probably be sided out or left in the sideboard if that's where it started. One Planeswalker that, I'm going to apply styles to this real quick. One Planeswalker that I don't have in this deck but could be played in it is Karn, Scion of Urza. It's colorless, making it easy to cast, and which is actually really nice for a 3-color deck. It comes in with a ton of loyalty. 5 loyalty for 4 mana is pretty good as far as Planeswalker starting loyalty goes. Its +1 ability is a great source of card advantage, which is something you really need for control decks to function well, and its -2 ability works as a win condition. The only real knock against it is that the 4 mana slot can be pretty crowded, and sometimes you want a more focused card there. This Karn's immediate impact is fairly modest, but its flexibility makes it a really good choice. Now I'm going to move on to removal. Cast down. 2 mana instant speed kill spells that hit most creatures are great in a deck like this. Cast down is no exception. It can kill anything from Benalish Marshal to Runaway Steamkin to Wild Growth Walker to Crackling Drake and a lot of other things. And it can even do it after tapping out to play Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, on your opponent's next turn. Great. Cry of the Carnarium. This is a main deckable sweeper. or something you can bring in from the sideboard, or you can play some main deck and some in the sideboard. That's what I do in this deck. It helps immensely against weenie and go wide strategies, and works really well against white weenie, which has low toughness creatures that can become indestructible. It also hits Thief of Sanity in opposing control and mid-range decks, which gives it some added flexibility outside of just countering aggro strategies. Mortify. Mortify is a solid removal spell that hits everything but planeswalkers, and it isn't even especially difficult to cast. It's a deceptively flexible card that works well against creature-based decks while simultaneously giving you the ability to blow up a control opponent, search for Azcanta, or a Nexus of Fate player's Wilderness Reclamation, hopefully before they get any untapped triggers out of it. It's basically a must in this deck's main deck, and you can side it out against opponents with no juicy targets, but you probably won't see that many of those type of opponents. Kaya's Wrath. Kaya's Wrath is a 4-mana Wrath, which you don't really see very often anymore. And it's one of the cards that makes Esper Control and Esper Midrange more appealing than it might be otherwise. The life gain clause on this is not something that will come up often, if ever, in the full-on control build of Esper. But you can mostly just forget it's there. Vraska's Contempt. Exiling any creature or planeswalker and gaining 2 life at instant speed is a powerful effect for 4 mana, and has made Vraska's Contempt a staple of black decks and standard since it was introduced. It's great for both control and mid-range decks. It's expensive enough that it's usually played alongside cheaper, less expensive, and less flexible removal options. It's especially good when it's used to ambush a Teferi Hero of Dominaria played on turn 5 before the end step trigger untaps lands to protect it. But it's also great at permanently taking out recurring threats like Rekindling Phoenix and Gate Colossus. I have this in the sideboard. Moment of Craving. Moment of Craving is a good, efficient option for removal. It has life gain attached. It's great against mono red. It kills 2 power threats. Critically, it kills Runaway Steamkin even if they get a 1 trigger off of it right away. Or you can cast it in response to them triggering Runaway Steamkin, which can allow you to kill it even if they have 3 spells to trigger, or maybe not if they have 3, but if they have 2 spells to trigger with, that still works. It also takes out Adanto Vanguard, and it can be used effectively against mono blue if they let their guard down even for a moment, or if you can squeeze a second of these through after the first is countered, or with dive down on the stack. Another removal spell that I don't actually have in this build, but that can be good, is the Eldest Reborn, if I can even spell it. There we go. Zoom in here. Value is a control deck's bread and butter, and you don't get much better value than a built-in 3-for-1, like Eldest Reborn. Being able to reanimate a planeswalker is really powerful in this, and this card really works best against slow decks with a modest number of expensive creatures or planeswalkers. They might not have any creatures at all, such as in the mirror match. That's not every deck, so be ready to side it out when you're facing aggro. Okay, the next category I'm going to look at is Hand Disruption Counter Magic. Let's get back to the deck here. Thought Erasure. Thought Erasure is a great 2-mana play that disrupts the hand of the opponent. The Surveil one is a good bonus. This is basically an auto-include in control and mid-range decks playing both blue and black. It's especially good against combo decks and other control decks that rely on being able to play a specific combo piece or win condition. One pro tip, don't choose Nullhide Ferox as the target of this spell if you can help it. And maybe even side this out against decks that are playing Nullhide Ferox. Absorb. Countering any spell while gaining some life makes this really good. It basically gives you 2-for-1 value against mono red burn and aggro. It plays about the same as cancel against other decks, but it's really good in matchups where life gain matters. The mana is good enough in current standard that Absorb isn't difficult to cast, even a 3-color deck like Esper Control, which means you're always going to want 3 or 4 copies of this in the main deck. Negate. Negate is the go-to counter spell versus decks playing non-creature spells. Just about any deck playing blue will have this in its sideboard at the very least, and it's not bad to play a couple of these in the main deck and control decks to help hedge your bets. Make sure to take it out against creature-heavy decks after game 1. Alright, the next category I'm going to look at here is card draw and selection. Chemister's Insight. So, card draw spells that give you something else to do with the mana you left open for a counter or kill spell are great in control decks. And Chemister's Insight even lets you do it twice, with the added bonus of helping protect you from mana flood. You're going to want at least 3 of these probably in the main deck of any control deck playing blue, and I usually play 4. Search for Azcanta. Search for Azcanta offers card selection for a couple of turns before forming into this awesome land, Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, and which means it even functions as ramp. This kind of deck smoothing plus card advantage slots perfectly into control decks. Remember that it's legendary though, so both sides of this are legendary specifically. So if you end up drawing 2 of these, you'll probably want to decline the transform on the second one if the first one's already transformed. And then let's look at the lands here real quick. So basically, you're going to run 26 lands. Every version of this deck that I've seen or played runs 26. You're going to always have 4 of each of these rare duals of the colors of the deck, and then probably an island and a swamp, or possibly 2 swamps depending on what the color mix of your main deck here looks like. Alright, let's go take a closer look at the sideboard here. Duress. Duress is a great tool which should show up in the sideboard of basically every black deck in existence. It's probably one of the best sideboard cards of all time. It can be completely devastating against control decks or combo decks, and is so cheap that you don't have to worry about messing with your curve when you bring it in. Thief of Sanity. Thief of Sanity is great in specific matchups, especially against combo decks or other control decks, including the mirror of this one. You can steal win conditions and combo pieces, and even if you don't get to cast them, you can often really put your opponent on the back foot. The fact that it color strips the cards it exiles means that you often do get to cast them, and if it isn't stopped quickly, can steamroll out of control, especially in the mirror where you're stealing things like Search for Azcanta, Absorb, and Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Hostage Taker. If you have enough open mana when you play it, Hostage Taker is a clean 3-for-1, and it's still awesome, even when you have to break that up over 2 turns. This is one of the better cards from Ixalan, and it's great to bring in from the sideboard against almost any creature-heavy deck, except maybe in cases where most or all of the creatures are hexproof. Also, keep in mind that it can snag artifacts, getting rid of pesky things like Sorcerer's Spyglass or the Immortal Sun after sideboards. Alright, Lyra Dawnbringer. Lyra Dawnbringer makes a huge impact, especially against aggressive decks where the life gain by itself is worth multiple cards. It shines best against mono red and Rakdos aggro decks, which generally have to expend multiple cards to deal with it, but it can work well against mono white and Boros aggro decks as well. Just be aware of the enchantment base removal that those decks play. Moment of Craving I mentioned when I was talking about the main board. Basically, you bring this in against mono red and Rakdos decks, and even more so against mono white because you want to use this to kill Adanto Vanguards and make them stay dead. Okay. Negate I mentioned in the main deck one. It's really the quintessential sideboard card. It does everything from giving you additional protection against board wipes to making your spells resolve and keeping pesky planeswalkers off the battlefield. I always bring this in against control decks, and it's also great against the Gates deck to keep Guild Summit off the field. Cry of the Carnarium is one that I also have in the main deck. I would bring in the extra copy of this from the sideboard when facing a mono red or Rakdos opponent playing a bunch of 1 and 2 toughness creatures. And I'd probably bring it in against mono white decks also, even though you have a little bit smaller window of where it's effective. When playing against other controller decks or mid-range decks that only have large creatures, I'd probably not side it in and take the main deck copies out. Eldest Reborn is also great to bring in from the sideboard against other control players that tend to have a single planeswalker or large creature on the battlefield. I would bring in sideboard copies against those kind of decks and take out main deck copies against decks with go wide strategies where it's really weak. Another sideboard card that works in this deck, that can work in this deck that I don't have in this specific build, is Unmoored Ego. I don't play this very often, but I've been wrecked by it in the mirror match on game 2 too many times to not mention it here. It can be really good for taking access to a win condition away from the opponent, such as Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, but I kind of also think it's not too difficult to mitigate the damage once you know the opponent is playing it by running fewer copies of a wider assortment of win conditions. I guess my take is that this is powerful, especially in Game 2, but I wouldn't rely on it in Game 3 in a mirror match if you were able to exile a bunch of Teferi, Hero of Dominarias with it in the second game of the match. Skip back here. Kaya you could also have in the sideboard. I just have the one in main deck here, but it is good enough against aggro decks playing 1-mana creatures and other decks with heavy graveyard recursion. That can be worth it to have a copy in the sideboard to bring in. One thing I didn't mention before that I should mention is that it also can work as a win con against other control decks where you just exile spells from the graveyard and then use your ultimate to eventually kill them. Let's see here. Basilica Bellhaunt. Alright. If you find yourself going up against mono red aggro in a large proportion of the time, then Basilica Bellhaunt is a fantastic sideboard option to consider. It's main deckable in best of 1 due to the prevalence of mono red aggro there, and also due to the fact that it's fine in other matchups. But my experience is that it's not a good main deck option best of 3, just because I see a lot more control there than and mid range combo than I see mono red aggro. But maybe on lower tiers where there's more aggro, this is a good one. I would say if you're going to run it in best of 3, just start it in the sideboard. Don't put it in the main deck at all. Alright, and that's it for this deck discussion. I'll tack some gameplay videos onto here and link the actual deck list and the entire article that I have for this in the notes under the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I should have a deck tech for it pretty soon. I think after this one I'm going to go back to the... I'll keep this series of my Path 2 series. Let's see, Drowned Catacomb. Of course, these are all going to come in tap. That's a downside. Wasn't really paying close enough attention. Alright. It'd be nice if we could get an untapped blue thing. Nope. It's not going to happen. So this is probably is it Drake that I'm playing against here? Up top. I have a very reactive hand. It'd be nice to get some like a land and a Chemister's Insight. I'm not going to bother countering that, but I will Mortify it once it's down. Let's search for Azcanta. I'm going to miss something. They're going to get a breakdown or something, but yeah. I think I will. I actually want that on my library. But I am going to play it tapped. So I don't know if I'm going to end up absorbing or on my opponent's turn or trying to kill Enigma Drake. I hope they don't just leave me hanging. Okay, I'll kill it. Yep, that's going on the graveyard. I hate putting Teferi in the graveyard, but whatever. Alright, so now I leave mana up for Absorb, and if they don't cast anything for me to absorb, then I draw cards. Now this is the kind of hand I really like to have. Leave that on the library. Tapped. I don't want to really play Teferi unless I can... I would play it on this turn if I could have 3 lands when I untap. Okay, they can have their Arricle idea, that's fine. So probably going to play Teferi the next turn. Although if they have Negate mana up... Okay, they won't. Good. Okay, let's draw some cards. Nice. Don't need another land at this point. Actually, I'll play the island, so it will have another untapped land. So I need to untap 2 blue things, probably 2 Drowned Catacombs.
Hold that thought.
Nice. Alright, so now I can absorb something, but I can let them opt first. Terramander, do I absorb it? Yeah. Put that in the graveyard. I'll transform this. Nice. Now I got stuff going. Let's see what card I draw.
We need to move quickly.
Yes, we do. Okay, so I will play a Drowned Catacomb. And I'm going to draw cards with Chemister's Insight. Nice. And then I will just pass. Untap these Drowned Catacombs. Okay, I gotta remember I only have one white source open, that's fine. Absorbs the only thing I need the white for. So I'm trying to think, what would I want to side? I probably want to side out Cry of the Carnarium and maybe put in like Hostage Taker or something. Oh good, Glacial Fortress, perfect. I have more white.
Hurry!
There's a Kaya. I will cast the Kaya. Exile a couple things here, and maybe an Opt and a Terramander. Shoot. I messed that up. And I'm just gonna go past turn. I want to leave mana open here for card draw, etc. Sure.
I'm getting too old for this.
Sure. Alright, let's pitch Godless Shrine to draw some cards. And let's pitch a Watery Grave to draw some more cards. Okay, draw.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm going to play a Drowned Catacomb. Let's exile some cards. Let's try to pick 2 this time. Why is it not staying selected? That's really annoying. And, I can Chemister's Insight. Play a Search for Azcanta. And pass turn. Let's untap this and this. And discard lands. Crackling Drake, huh? Okay. Sure, I'll resolve it. No, I don't want to use that on it. I wanted to use that on it. Leave man up for Chemister's Insight. Sure, leave that on the library. Don't transform it. Let's draw a card.
No time for a break.
Nice. Exile something. An Enigma Drake and a Lava Coil, let's say.
Pack your bags and hit the road.
I'm gonna play the Swamp, and I will Thought Erasure. Man, look at all that. Crackling Drake going away. Don't need it. Land on top. Let's see if I can draw something useful here. Oh, another Teferi. I'm going to grab a Negate. And then end my turn. Untap this, and this. And discard a Watery Grave. Yep. Crackling Drake comes down. And Vraska's Contempted. Sure, if that's what you want to do with your Lightning Strike.
Time for plan B, as soon as I think of one.
Put that in the graveyard. Do not transform it. Let's draw a card.
Keep up the pace.
Alright. Let's exile some cards. How about an Enigma Drake and a Shock?
I hope you said your goodbyes already.
And then I'm going to Thought Erasure. I'll toss a Chemister's Insight. Absorb on top is good. In fact, I'm going to draw that Absorb probably. Next, untap. I'll untap this, and discard a Cry of the Carnarium. Yep. Go ahead. So now Kaya can exile those flashback cards. I should have done that already. Sure, resolve it. Yeah, you can shock it, sure.
That didn't pan out.
Let's draw a couple cards. Tossing a Cry of the Carnarium. I'll leave that in the library. Decline to transform. Draw a card.
Let's skip to the good part.
Alright, play this. You're gonna exile some stuff. Probably Chemister's Insights. Where are they? And it's Thought Erasure. Get rid of your opt. Don't need that on top. And I think Kaya starts to deal damage next turn. Discard Isolated Chapel. I don't need to draw any more cards. Leave that on the library. Don't transform. Draw a card, sure.
Hold that thought.
And then you are going to do this.
What you sow.
And next, and turn. Let's discard a Kaya's Wrath, a couple Kaya's Wraths actually. My turn. Leave that in the library. Decline to transform. Got anything interesting going on? Okay. Leave that in the library. Exile some cards.
Your bags and hit the road.
Draw a card.
Let's skip to the good part.
End turn. Tap the 2 lands. Discard Hallowed Fountain. My turn. Leave that on the library. Don't transform. Exile some cards.
Something vanished. Funny, that's what I do.
Teferi, I'm not even doing anymore. I'm just killing Makaya on the next turn. Alright, so I do not want Cry of the Carnariums at all. What I'd kind of like is another Negate. Maybe a Lyra. I'm going to take out one Teferi also for another Lyra. We'll see how that works. Those board wipes were kind of dead cards. No, they're likely bringing in Niv-Mizzets at least. Alright, let's see how game 2 goes. Yeah, keep this. Hello. How did I get to full control? Enters tapped. I must have accidentally clicked something. Drowned Catacomb, Glacial Fortress, and I'm in business. Yeah. I am not casting a Kaya into that mana. Terramander, huh? Kaya can exile it. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Play this tapped. Turn. Pass. Crackling Drake, huh? Let's attempt to absorb that. Yeah. Okay, if I get another mana, I'm gonna be really happy. Yeah. So let's Kaya. Exile this.
Notice I didn't say fair. I have to send us away.
And cast down this. Alright, they killed my Kaya. So sad. They're gonna opt, and then I will try to... They're gonna bring out another Drake. No, they're leaving counter magic mana up. So I am going to go ahead and try to Teferi. My guess is it gets countered. Yep. Alright. Let's see what they do on their next turn. There's the bid. Okay. So, I guess well, I can Teferi and bounce the Niv back. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Let's slow this down. Time is much more malleable than people think.
Alright, they kill my dude. And then can I Lyra... Shoot. I want to be able to absorb. Okay. Lyra on the next turn. Here comes the Niv. Let's see here if I Lyra here, yeah. Then I'm gonna play a Glacial Fortress. I have some absorb mana up. I can't Chemister's Insight. I can't pitch an absorb to Chemister's Insight. That's ridiculous, but okay, resolve. Yes. My turn. Okay. Let's just start attacking. I just gotta hold counter magic up for card draw spells. Yeah, I should have put in a hostage taker for Niv. Oh well. Oh, there's a Teferi, that's nice. Let's see if I can get it going. Well, let's bounce their Niv again.
Sorry I'm late. You need to slow down.
Good game. Woohoo! That was fun. And back up to Platinum 3 for the third time. Alright, see you guys next time. Let's see how we'll play first. How this deck does today. Okay. Yep, I've got what I need to cast the Absorbers. I'm going to keep this. Hello. So Watery Grave, Isolated Chapel, Drowned Catacomb. That comes in tapped. I don't have mana for the Kaya's Wrath here. So we'll see. Now I'm going to play this tapped and then the Drowned Catacomb. Okay, some kind of Sultai mid-range maybe? Alright, play the Hallowed Fountain tapped. And now I have Kaya's Wrath mana. Alright, so now I can play Drowned Catacomb and search for Azcanta. And leave mana up for Absorb. Do I want to use the Absorb? No. Okay. Play Isolate Chapel, now I can absorb twice if I need to. My opponent's just building up mana for a Hydroid Crisis. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Another Absorb. Playing a game of chicken against another control deck maybe here? No, you do not get Disinformation Campaign. Okay, let's Thought Erasure and see what's going on over there. Whoa. Doom Whisperers and Vraskas, huh? Let's see here. I'm gonna take the Vraska, I think. Don't need that. So Doom Whisperers can get Wrathed away if I need to do that. I would like to get rid of the Assassin's Trophy also, though. Or at least, I gotta note, keep in mind that it's there. I see, but they want to get a Disinformation Campaign down first before they play out the... Alright, let's go for it. I can absorb once. And then if Teferi draws me a land, I can absorb again. Okay, they're gonna try to kill this with their Assassin's Trophy, I think. Ooh, Thought Erasure. Nope. On tap a Drowned Catacomb and a Hallowed Fountain. Too bad that Erasure can't be instant speed. Sure, Doom Whisperer can come in now. Gotta keep mana up to counter Assassin's Trophy. Yeah, let's draw a card to Teferi. That's a swamp. I'm gonna Mortify a Doom Whisperer. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. And then I can also Thought Erasure, play the Hallowed Fountain tapped. Or actually, maybe just play the Swamp, and then if I play the Swamp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, then I can have enough mana for 2 absorbs on the next turn. Perfect. And I can get rid of Assassin's Trophy unless they decide to go for it, in which case I absorb it. Doom Whisperer goes away. Isolated Chapel goes on the bottom, and I untap 2 blue lands, so I have mana open for another absorb. Now, Cry of the Carnarium is not really what I need here. What are they going to take? Absorb. Yeah, I better just absorb it. They're going to take absorb anyway. Alright, so cast stones I want to leave in. Cry of the Carnariums I want to take out. Maybe put in another Negate for Teferi protection. I don't really need Kaya in there. Maybe throw a couple Lyras in, or a couple hostage takers. Or a couple Thieves of Sanity. You know what? I'm going to do Thief of Sanity so I don't mess up my... just a couple of them. Try not to mess up my curve too much here. Thief of Sanity can also draw out Assassin's Trophy. So Assaultai, Surveil, Control deck. I don't think I can keep this. Yeah, I'll keep this though. I'll put the Teferi on top. I have a feeling that a Thought Erasure is just going to come get rid of it though. So Hallowed Fountain into Drowned Catacomb for Thought Erasure, and then Godless Shrine untap for the absorb. Play this tapped. Yeah, saw that coming. They're going to take Teferi or Thought Erasure. Yeah, they took Thought Erasure. Okay. In that case, I will just play Godless Shrine tapped. Now they take Teferi or absorb. Okay. I'm gonna Drowned Catacomb. And then I'll get another Drowned Catacomb out, and I'll have Vraska's Contempt ready. Uh-oh. They're gonna take Teferi? Yep. Good thing Teferi is not my only win condition right now. Besides, stealing their win condition works too. Okay, now I have a Negate up. Okay. That means this is going to be a long game, though. So basically I need to be able to use Protect, Thief of Sanity, and steal their cards. If my Thief of Sanities go, I'm basically done, though. Thieves of Sanity. Okay. Play Watery Grave. Oh, now I wish I had put in a Hostage Taker, though. Nice the Chapel. Leaving mana up for Vraska's Contempt and Negate. But maybe I'll end up just Chemister's Insight. So I might need to put Kaya back in just as another possible win condition. Yeah, let's play a search for Azcanta. End turn. So I can rest his Contempt, Negate, or Chemister's Insight on the next turn. What are they going to take? Vraska's Contempt? Yeah, I better negate this. Alright. Yeah, I'll get an island. Because now I can at least Chemister's Insight. Another Vraska's Contempt. Alright. So play a Hallowed Fountain. I have a Watery Grave I can pitch to Chemister's Insight. I wonder if my opponent sideboarded out Creature Kill. Thought Erasure, huh? Alright. Take what you want. They can't take my Watery Grave, which is what I'm going to pitch to Chemister's Insight, so... Okay. Let's pitch the Watery Grave. If I draw the land, I can pitch that to my other Chemister's Insight. Yeah, there we go. Godless Shrine goes away. Man, so many lands. I'm glad that I got past those. Okay, let's play a Godless Shrine tapped, I guess. Catacomb. Glacial Fortress. Then resolve that. So since they have creature recursion, it's probably also good for me to... That's another reason to have a Kaya in there. So I think on the next game, I take out 2 Teferis, put in a Kaya and another Thief of Fate, maybe? It'd be also nice maybe to get a Hostage Taker as backup. Oh, I mean, Thief of Sanity. Alright, so Vraska's Contempt, Thief of Sanity. And I negate search for Azcanta. Play my Glacial Fortress and a Thought Erasure. Oh, Vraska's Contempt and Eldest Reborn. Well, I'll pitch Eldest Reborn. Watery Grave on the bottom. So they have stuff to kill Planeswalkers. So I need to be able to protect my Thief of Sanity from their Vraskas. Contempts. Alright. I guess I kill it. But they're gonna end up getting it back. But there's not much I can do. I can't let it just keep hitting me. So that's why a Hostage Taker might be useful. Yeah, so they get their Hydra Crisis back. Esper, okay. Guess I better kill that right away. If I can. Alright. In that case, I'm afraid they're just going to make me discard that with a disinformation campaign, though. Yeah, I better just try to kill it. Well, there's a negate. Guess I negate that. I negate my negate, okay. Play my Glacial Fortress. I should have just left that in hand, draw out a... Thought Erasure. I'm just gonna do a Thought Erasure, then concede, actually. Okay. So then what I need... Should I be duressing? So I want duresses. I want a hostage taker, and I want Kaya. So I'm going to take out 2 Teferis. I'm going to take out both Search for Azcanta, even though that makes me sad. Actually, I'm going to take out 2 Kaya's Wrath, I think. So I don't usually need to fall on Wrath. Put back in 1 Search for Azcanta. Okay. Play first. Yeah, I'll keep it. Although I need blue. That was kind of a bad keep, actually. Oh, somehow did not notice I didn't have blue. I was just like, there's a Duress I can cast. Negate and Disdainful Stroke. Okay, well, I'll take the negate. Maybe I'll get a blue source and do Thought Erasure on the next turn. Nope, I did not. Dang. Ah, there we go. Alright, Thought Erasure. Oh, there's a Thief of Sanity. Well, maybe I can hostage taker that. Yeah. So I'm going to pitch their Hydroid Crisis. Put a Teferi in the graveyard. So now I've hostage. Okay, and I have a negate. Alright. This is fine. They don't have any blue mana open. Okay, well I'm going to play my Thief of Sanity. They might be able just to kill it. We'll see. Okay, now they can counter Hostage Taker for sure. Or Teferi. So I get it. Be careful with my negate. There's their Thief of Sanity. Now they can't counter Hostage Taker. Nice. So do I have Vraska's Contempt or Hostage Taker? Okay, I'm going to do Hostage Taker because I'm assuming they did not have something to kill this with. We'll see. See if I'm lucky enough to get a Another Thief of Sanity. Okay, what do I want? I want Thought Erasure. Okay, there's a Thief of Sanity. Oh, they don't have counter magic for that, so I'm going to Vraska's Contempt. Attack. And I'll take the Eldest Reborn. Okay, they're going to take my Teferi maybe? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, and then they kill Hostage Taker. Yes. Because now I can Thought Reborn, or Eldest Reborn their Thief of Sanity. And steal the next thing. Kinda wish I could steal in the land. Unmoored Ego or Thief of Sanity? I'm going to take the Thief of Sanity. They're going to get a creature back. Do they have a creature to get back? Yeah, they have a Thief of Sanity. Yep, here comes Thief of Sanity. Okay. And then they discard that. So I attack with Thief of Sanity. And then play out a Thief of Sanity. Leave the Negate up. Yep. Thanks for watching. That ladder climb came from playing Rakdos Burn in the best of one ladder. Alright, I'll play first here. Oh boy. You know what? I'm going to keep this. It's very risky. I just want to see if I draw something. I want to feel out my opponent's deck right now. So let's see here. Watery Grave tapped. Alright, okay. Glacial Fortress, and then I have a Negate. I will definitely be able to Wrath when I get to turn 4. Oh, this is probably a Teamer Reclamation. So they're not going to play Reclamation on this turn. Let's see if I can get Kaya, sneak Kaya in there. Nope, maybe they are going to play Reclamation on the next turn. That might have just been a big mistake.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair. Bye.
That might have been a mistake. I can't even Teferi bounce it on the next turn. Here comes Reclamation? No. Okay. Doesn't really matter which one of these play. Oh yeah, we'll play that one.
I hope you've said your goodbyes already.
And turn. Okay, that's fine. Growth Spiral. The thing I want to counter is the Wilderness Reclamation. Oh man, that's a lot of Growth Spirals in a row. Crazy. Are they going to be doing it? Oh, this could be playing Nexus. I'm too used to best of one sometimes. So this could be Teamer Nexus. In which case, annoyingly, I don't want to play the Teferi because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because they have enough mana for the Nexus right now. I want to be able to negate it if they play it.
What's it then? Funny, that's what I do.
So I kinda can't play Teferi till I have 7 mana yet. Okay. Fine, Chemister's Insight. They can probably Chemister's Insight again. Alright. Oh, they're just burning through their entire deck, aren't they? No. Alright, so I have to kill Niv. Or bounce it or something. Okay, let's see here. That's the best way to do this. Because I want to have negates open. What I'm going to do is draw a card.
Thank me later. Hurry!
And do the exile thing again.
Something banished. Funny, that's what I do.
I'm just trying to get the Niv to send the damage somewhere other than me. Because they're going to attack Teferi with it. I really want
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
another negate here. Okay, I gotta negate that. I feel like once the Wilderness Reclamation is done, then I'm pretty much... Oh man. Boned. So I think I need to bring in Duresses against this one for sure. Oh boy, here comes Nexus. Or big fire. Oh yeah, explosion, there we go. Oh boy. I think I die. Oh, good game for that. Alright. So I don't really want Cry of the Carnariums or Cast Downs. I do want Duresses. I want another Negate. I want Hostage Taker. Now, do I want to leave Kaya in there as a question? I'm going to take Kaya out, actually. And do I want a Lyra? Yeah, I'll put one Lyra in and take one more Teferi out. We'll see how this goes. Temur Reclamation is certainly a fun deck to play against. Or to play, not necessarily to play against. Okay, let's play first. I'll keep it for the Duress. And card draw is good too. So it's going to be Hallowed Fountain tapped, followed by Drowned Catacomb, so I can Duress. Don't need to pay life. There's a Mortify, that could come in handy. Let's Duress. So what I really don't like here are the counter spells. So I think I'm going to get rid of Sinister Sabotage first. And then Negate. I'm a little less worried about the Negate. Even though it's easier for them to cast, they don't get to surveil off of it. Next turn I play a Glacial Fortress, so I have Mortify mana. I get to opt. Pretty soon I get to leave mana up for Chemister's Insight. Depending on what happens, it's probably going to be Glacial Fortress again on the next turn, so I can have Chemister's Insight and Mortify mana open. And I drew another Glacial Fortress, so there we go. Good enough. Mortify can help against the Reclamation. They are going to get that Growth Spiral. Get a Mountain. Pass. Alright, all Chemister's Insight. Okay. Well, I can play a Drowned Catacomb. And leave Chemister's Insight mana open. Alright. Figure out what you're doing. I think they're going to play Chemister's Insight. That was my guess. The annoying thing is that now they If they play another land, then they can Wilderness Reclamation, leaving mana open for a negate, which will make it a lot harder for me to mortify it. They didn't. Okay, so I will Chemister's Insight again. Oh, another Chemister's Insight, nice. Catacomb, okay. So I'm gonna try to Thought Erasure. The idea being maybe that I could just get a draw out that negate. I'm hoping that leaves me open to Mortify on the next turn if I need to. End turn. Okay. So I'm going to need to resolve that. And then try to mortify it. I'm kind of expecting that mortify to get countered. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Alright, okay. So I'm going to play another Glacial Fortress. And I'm going to Hero of Dominaria. I'm assuming that the reason it's stopping is because they have a lightning strike open. Then hopefully I'll be able to count like Mortify or Chemister's Insight on the next turn. Okay, Drowned Catacomb and Glacial Fortress. Alright. There's Niv coming out. Okay, Lightning Strike. And then they're gonna copy it. Yep, okay. Yep, bye bye Teferi.
We will meet again.
Okay, let's Chemister's Insight. Alright. I think I can cast this and still have Mortify and Absorb mana open. So let's do that. Pitch a Hallowed Fountain, I think. Alright, so I'm going to play a Watery Grave tapped. No, I don't want to do that. Because I want to leave Chemister's Insane Mana open too. Okay, I guess I'll pay the 2 life. That was a mistake. I should have played Glacial Fortress. Okay, let's draw some cards. Wow, the music suddenly got all nutty. Okay. So, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna play the Glacial Fortress. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll just play the Glacial Fortress. Pass turn. I can Chemister's Insight on their turn, possibly. Let's toss Watery Grave. Pass. Alright, well, let's pitch a swamp to this. Yeah, there's my next Teferi. Okay. So I will play an Isolated Chapel. I'll go ahead and play a Teferi. They have Negate, okay. So I negate their Negate. Sinister Sabotage, I absorb that. And then I'm glad I didn't Duress, and then draw a card.
Let's skip to the good part.
Of course, I'm not going to be able to stop anything from happening on the next turn. Unfortunately. I think a Duress actually would have been better.
Keep up the pace.
Excuse me. Okay, let's Duress. Oh, they're going to sabotage that. Okay, that's fine. To get your Surveil. I'll play a Godless Shrine tapped, and then go to untaps. Alright, well, let's do Chemister's Insight, pitching Godless Shrine. And then go to my turn. Let's draw a card.
We need to move quickly.
I'm going to play my Isolated Chapel. I'm going to Thought Erasure, and then Duress, depending on what they do. Might just be a land in hand. Nope, there goes Crushing Canopy. Oh, I'll leave a Search for Azcanta on top, sure. And that's it for now, I guess. Untap some land. Okay, well, that worked pretty well. I think I'm just gonna keep it how I had it. Fountain. Tapped. And then I will Drowned Catacomb and Thought Erasure. Look at all those Sinister Sabotage. Okay, there goes a Sinister Sabotage. Isolated Chapel I do not need. Throw that in the graveyard. And then I can Glacial Fortress and have mana for an Absorb. Or I can search for Azcanta. No, you know what? I'm going to leave the Absorb mana open. I'm just worried enough about Wilderness Reclamation. End turn. So that Lightning Strike can kill my Hostage Taker. I gotta be mindful of that. So with Thought Erasure now, so what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna do Godless Shrine tapped. So my next turn I should have enough mana for a Thought Erasure and leave stuff up for Absorb, if that's what I decide to do. I can draw some cards off Chemister's Insight. I'll touch the birdie. Bye bye, birdie. Alright, here's a Glacial Fortress. So, do I try for Thought Erasure or for search for Azcanta? I'm going to try for Thought Erasure, leaving Absorb mana open. Okay, that's fine. Very likely that's what I would have ended up taking anyway. And the next turn I can search for Azcanta and leave Absorb mana up. I want to let them have a search for Azcanta. No. I'm going to try to absorb it. They might have a counter spell. Okay, Glacial Fortress. Should I try to get Teferi online? Yeah.
This isn't a fight you can win. No time for a break.
Alright. Drowned Catacomb and Hallowed Fountain untapped. Not that I can really do anything with just those. Oh, there's a Lyra, huh? Okay, I'm gonna play the Isolated Chapel. Draw a card. Isolated Chapel. Ah, boy. So if I get a search for Azcanta out, that leaves mana up for a Chemister's Insight. Yeah, let's do that. And untap. There's their Chemister's Insight, sure. Oh. No, they have a Niv coming. So I'm going to draw cards before Niv hits the battlefield. It's too bad I can't.
No more games.
I'll put that on the library. Be nice if that transformed. Okay, let's draw a card.
Keep up the pace.
So I have a Negate. So I'm going to play an Isolated Chapel. And then I'm going to hostage take that Niv. Or take it hostage, I guess. And pass turn. And untap these two. Too bad I didn't have 2 more mana just to cast the Niv out. So they're gonna try to Wilderness Reclamation. They're gonna kill Hostage Taker. Okay, I'm gonna negate this. Yeah, they're looking for a way to kill the Hostage Taker. Or just a counter spell to counter my negate. Yes, so they can use expansion to counter my negate. Okay. It's pretty good. Resolve. Nothing I can really do about it. Are you going to be able to kill Hostage Taker? So once that thing goes... Okay, let's see. Once that thing goes in this deck, a Chemister's Insight. If they had a way to kill Hostage Taker, I think they would have won, but without a way to kill Hostage Taker, I think I had it with Niv on my next turn.